Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'll call our meeting to order. Rob, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Least. Mrs. Sweet.
Here.
Mr. Bear.
Here.
Mr. Whitaker.
Here.
Mr. Avery. Mr. Hannah.
Here.
Council does have a quorum. Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is the regular session of the Enon Village Council. This is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Karen, welcome to you and your crew this evening. Thank you for being here. Just a little note before we get started. Let's keep Kevin Seifert, our administrator, and his family in our thoughts and prayers after the passing of his sister. It's been very difficult for him, so let's keep him in our thoughts. Let's go into additions to our agenda.
Parks Committee.
Parks and committee reports. Mr. Bear,
And I have a communication, sir.
Mrs. Sweet, communication. Any other additions?
Make
All
a
right.
motion to have a joint for excuse for Mr. Avery and Ms. Least.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Minutes of the February 11th, 2025 meeting. You've had a chance to review those and you're satisfied with their contents. I'd entertain a motion and a second to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve with that one exception that
And it
you.
has been made. And
Thank you.
And a
Okay.
new one
It
is
was just
printed.
a spelling of a word.
Okay,
That's all.
thanks for catching that.
Sure.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Those minutes are approved as presented. We do have a presentation this evening, and I'd like to introduce to council and our citizens, Michelle Johnson. Michelle, you're with MetroNet, and the floor is yours. Welcome to Enon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So again, my name is Michelle Johnson. I'm here tonight on behalf of MetroNet. I want to thank you for your time this evening. I spoke with Kevin a few weeks ago concerning MetroNet and deployment of our network within Enon. I told him I would keep him updated, which I ended up emailing him, I believe, the beginning of the week. We have a financial board that approves our cities once we come in and have a discovery meeting with them and kind of gather some information. Once we gave that information to our financial board, they have, at this point in time, approved for us to do the build here in Enon. I don't know if maybe you want a little bit of background about MetroNet. If you're familiar, we're in some of the surrounding areas.
I am not familiar. And what type of services do you provide?
So we are a internet service provider. So we're fiber internet, fiber to the home, in fact. So that means that we have symmetrical upload speeds and download speeds. So you're going to be able to stream your Netflix and your Hulu and do your gaming online, working from home. It's going to make all of that so much easier and so much more reliable.
Gotcha.
Here in the area. So I'm with the New Market Development Department of MetroNet, and so what we do is we go through and we identify areas that are either underserved or not served for fiber. So Enon was identified as an area that we thought would be a great fit for MetroNet, and our board agrees, and hopefully we can come in and give you guys another option for your internet provider. We have been in business for 20 years now. We're founded out of Evansville, Indiana in 2005. We are currently in over 19 states and over 300 communities, and growing at a fast pace. We surrounding areas, Dayton, Huber Heights. We've kind of just making our way west across the state of Ohio. New Carlisle. I'm not sure how far that is from here, but
Just a little bit north.
just a little bit north. But those are some of the most recent areas that we have deployed our network. So I have sent over some folks that you could speak with in those areas to Kevin. And any questions that you might have for me that I could answer or provide you with?
Questions from council? Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
what would the timeline be of when that would be
So-
serviceable here?
For us to start our build? So we have crews that are in the area that are finishing up other locations. Our hope is to have a construction kickoff meeting in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And then in doing that, we'll have our project director, who's going to be in charge of this project, here to discuss all of the little ins and outs for Enon and how you guys like things ran. So I would say in the next 2 months or so, we'd like to be in the area and working. And then since it's not an overly large build, we should be wrapped up fairly quick. But we do light up our services as we go. So as we complete certain areas, we'll light those up, and those residents will be able to sign up for our services at that point. So
if I'm reading it correctly, the build out is 100% funded by you guys.
yes.
Once
yes,
complete, then it's up to the residents if they want to utilize the service or not.
correct. Yes, 100% financed by MetroNet.
And it gives them just another opportunity, another choice.
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, and we are very competitive with, the other internet service providers in the area. So we have a good range of prices for our packages that we offer. So it kind of just depends on what you are planning to do.
Is it
with that.
strictly internet, or is there any expansion that would be possible with the system?
So I believe we offer phone as well.
Okay,
We did at one point in time offer video or like cable services, TV services. We no longer do that. Just the streaming market has made that
Right.
where it really isn't feasible for us. So
Right.
internet and phone. Yes.
any other questions? All right, thank you, Michelle, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, administrative report. In Kevin's absence, Christy, I will turn it over to you. You got a few items on the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. The 2025 Administrative Water Department Annual Report is in your council packet for you to review. Please let me know if you have any questions. This report is nice for staff to reflect on what we accomplished last year. The back of it also gives us our goals for 2025. It is interesting when you review and you look at how much service orders and activity that we did during the year. So it's just something good to keep us on task.
So page 11, I will draw attention for the council, the statistical information for the Waterworks Department. So every year, I've asked the staff to look at gallons treated, the expenses that we have, find out what it costs per 1,000 gallons to treat. And that on page 11, down towards the bottom, you will see cost per thousands of gallons. We need to keep that in mind when looking for our next review of our water rates. It's been a while since the rates have been adjusted, but I always draw your attention to that because that tells us what it's costing to pump 1,000 gallons of water with the treatment, the electricity, and all those things involved. So that's just one of the highlights of the report. Thank you.
The 2025 Enon water emergency plans have been updated and copies will be delivered this week. This is not a public record as it is our water emergency plan. We will keep it here for emergency references. We also deliver it to Clark County Utilities and Fairborn. If there would be a water emergency and we would need to get a copy elsewhere, we keep it with other government agencies. The last snowfall, last Monday, the snowplow crew did a wonderful job clearing the roads with no issues. Thanks to our street crew, we have plenty of road salt available. We still have 24 more tons to order per our contract, which was through ODOT. The last blood drive was February 12th. The results were 35 registered donors, 27 were successful. This will go to help 81 lives. Way to go, Enon residents. Thanks to the Enon residents for making our blood drive successful. It has been 21 years since our first blood drive here. And it has meant a lot to me since my son has had 2 blood transfusions in his life. So I just wanted to reflect that it's been 21 years. The next Enon blood drive is April 30th. So it's time to replace our F-250. It is a 2007 vehicle, so it's pretty old. It is not safe to drive anymore. The bed is about ready to fall off, and with the age of the vehicle, it's just not worth us putting any more money into it at this point. White Allen in Urbana has a truck available for us. It is a blue 2024 Ford F-350, so we wouldn't have to paint it since it's blue, with a snow plow package on it. The cost would be $54,518. The lease that we've checked into through West Banco would be at the interest rate of 8.3% for 5 years, with a biannual payment of $7,000. If council approves the purchase, we would need a motion allowing the village administrator to enter into a lease agreement to purchase the 2024 Ford F-350.
So this is the vehicle that Kevin talked about last year when we purchased I call it a Traco, that mini Traco that we...
That excavator.
Excavator, yeah. So instead of trying to do both of those in 1 year, we decided we would spread it out over 2 years. And I believe, Rob, when I talked to you, financial-wise, we're in pretty good shape. And maybe we have one of those loans that are coming off this year, one of the Ohio Public Works Commission loans that would help supplement this.
We've got another year of that.
Okay.
We're able to. We're in a good place with our water fund. So the discussion was we'll do that 5 years worth of financing payments. We may front load those payments in water, and then as street fund gets a little healthier, we'll do the back
Equal
end
it
of the
out.
street,
Okay.
or however percentage wise you want to split it. But we'll make the street payments in the out years and the water payments up front.
So this particular vehicle, when they found it, looked like a very good price. It was well under other vehicles that had been priced that were similar, other different makes, I should say. So we talked about it in-house and decided this would be the best for the village, and I would like to recommend to the council that we proceed on with it would be a 5-year lease?
5-year lease.
A 5-year lease for the purchase of this F-350.
Do they allow private financing instead of through White Allen? Like if we check other,
We do through West Banco.
We're going through West Banco.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
still seems like a lot. 8.3%.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Thank you. That's the end of my report unless someone has any questions.
Questions for Christy? Thanks, Christy, for filling in.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Wise. Jeff, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm going to start out with full-time officer Miranda Perks tendered her resignation as a full-time officer today, with her last day being March 3rd. Miranda is going to stay on part-time with us, so we still keep some hours working with her. We wish Miranda all the best and continued success in her career. I have been working with Greenon's school resource officer to organize an event with the community, Coffee with Cops, which is going to take place on March 22nd, 2025 at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is going to be held at the Greenon K through 12 campus cafeteria, high school cafeteria. We've already had reports that Park District wants to send officers up to it. The sheriff's office is sending some of their upper command staff to it. Hopefully it'll be a big success in getting the two agencies back working together. I did speak with, I went to the school board meeting this past Thursday, spoke with them, referenced the Greenon logo to be put on the back of the cruisers. They are all for it. So I'll be ordering the logos to have put on the cruiser hopefully in the next week or so.
Good deal.
We have a estimate on the carport being put on the east side of the building that we've discussed. Discussed it with Mayor Howard and as well as Mr. Storm, and we have the money available. And I'd like for the council to move to go ahead and start this project.
What's the price?
Estimate on it is $8,350.38.
What size building, Joe?
Huh?
What size building?
It's going to be a 30 by 31, 30 foot wide, 31 foot long, and 10 foot high, which will actually make it so if we get storms in the winter, we could actually park two cruisers back to back inside it, so all the cruisers could be undercover in the bad weather.
It's gonna be here.
East side of the building over where we park our cruisers now.
And that's why we relocated the flagpole to accommodate that parking spot there, so.
Because they're going to make, we got two
Excuse me.
parking spots there now. They're going to make another parking spot, which we looked, and it will not affect the parking lot of the Historical Society. It's going to go over some of the sidewalk there at the end, and it'll go back probably not quite to the cabin, where there's going to be plenty of room between the cabin and the back of that carport.
Is there walls on,
It's going to be three.
west
it's Going
side?
to be, it's going to be three-sided. So,
so
it'll
just be pull in?
yep.
It'd be-
Pull in, back out, or back in, pull out, whatever.
Yeah, we've been talking about this, I think, for about 3 or 4 years now. So,
I'll make a motion to move forward with the carport.
I'll second.
any further discussion?
No, as you say, we've talked about it for quite a while. It will keep our cruisers in better shape and for serviceability and as well as their aesthetics, so.
I agree.
Ready to call the roll?
Call the roll.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Any questions for Lieutenant Wise? Appreciate it. Good report. Thank you.
Next piece is we got a quote for the camera system for the building here. We looked at adding a camera to the hallway to cover our evidence room, back towards our interview room. We got the quote from C&D Security Incorporated. It's in the amount of $1,900, and it's going to be a dome camera with a 2.8 millimeter lens. And then they're going to move some of the other cameras around to get better pictures out of them, and hopefully, and then they're going to, and that's with the prices with installation and everything with it, and then the village administrative side and the police department side will all be on the same system, so everybody has access to the cameras.
Good upgrade.
So I'd like for the council to make a motion to approve this so we can get that in the works.
Somebody?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, Rob.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
No,
Thank you very much.
Okay. Questions for our lieutenant? All right, thank you. Committee reports, Mr. Bear, I will turn it over to you.
I just want to remind everyone that we're having a Parks Committee meeting on March 6th at 6 p.m. We'll be having a presentation about the proposed water feature at the new park area. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. So under our old business, we have Citizen of the Year and Young Citizen of the Year voting. And I always say just a few words about all of our candidates. We only had one applicant for Young Citizen of the Year. So this will be a very good recipient. His name is Matthew Wiles. And Matthew is nominated by Andrea Maxon. He is a leader in the community from the standpoint of this young man appears to do everything. He's academic-wise, he's got a 4.54 weighted, which is a 4.0 unweighted. He is active in the Boy Scouts. He's an Eagle Scout. He's a member of the National Honor Society, where he holds the position of president, the Science National Honor Society, and the Tri-Music Honor Society. He's active in his church, and just very well deserving of the award for 2024. The two candidates for the Citizen of the Year award, Mr. James Schwab, and Mr. Schwab is a member of the New Beginnings Christian Church. He was a founding member of the Enon Church of Christ, where he held several positions and volunteered his time. He currently works also at Greenon Local Schools and supports students in different services. Part of his application, it talks about back in the 60s, he was a volunteer firefighter with the Mad River Township Fire Department, became friends with the Enon Chief of Police, and served the village by transporting nonviolent offenders to the Clark County Jail because Enon didn't have a jail. So he's been around a long time. And then our last nomination, Karen Olson. Karen has spent many years with Enon Emergency Relief, 8 years, and worked with the Adopt-A Family. She was president for several years, worked the Adopt-A Family program, worked in 4-H, also founded Cub Scout Troop, and I believe that was with Emmanuel Christian Academy in Springfield. Her 4-H volunteer was with the horse committee. She was a horse committee officer. So again, very qualified candidates for that. So those two, council will have to vote on. And Christy, do you have those? Do they have the
They have
forms?
nomination
Okay.
forms with
Very
the
good.
packet.
Rick's getting his all folded up.
Oh, the usual, right?
Yeah.
So Christy can collect, and Rob, you can tally, please.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You know how to work with numbers,
I wonder
right?
which one will be Rick's.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's going to be Rick's.
Which paper was Rick's?
Good grief. Yeah, I wonder. Sir, while he's counting, may I make my announcement that I was going to make?
Absolutely.
I just want to remind everybody, before our next council meeting on Saturday, March 8th, you might want to remember to spring forward your clocks, because the next day is the beginning of daylight savings time. Just a reminder.
And I slipped right by you. I
That's okay.
apologize.
I still love you. Good.
Christie, we got a records committee meeting prior to the next meeting, don't we?
Yes, we do at 5:30. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
At the next meeting.
Before the next meeting, we have a public.
Records Commission.
Yes.
Rob, I'll turn it over to you. We know the Young Citizen. That was easy. Citizen of the Year for 2024 for the Village of Enon.
We have a tie.
Oh, wonderful.
It's like you
You ever
get to
done
break
two
the tie.
before?
Oh, boy.
That's what you get to do? You get to break the tie?
You get to pick the citizen of the year.
So typically, what we do is we flip a coin. So does anybody have a coin?
Keep carry coins? Coins in-
No point.
That's interesting.
I got one in my purse.
You know Chuck has one.
He's got a whole roll of them. Did anybody find one?
Need a drum roll too.
Drum roll.
Okay, so heads will be Karen, tails will be James. Ready? And it is heads. Karen Olson is the 2024 Citizen of the Year. Okay, we do have an executive session this evening. Before we do that, we will entertain comments from the public. You have 3 minutes to speak. Keep your comments respectful. We do not discuss personnel issues. Comments from the public. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion and a second to enter into executive session to discuss the employment and compensation of village employees.
So moved.
Second.
And call the roll, please.
Mr. Barrett.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes. 6:26.
I do anticipate some action from council when we return. So, starting out, Christy, I'll need you, and Rob, I'll need you. And then Jeff.
Good. You're a friendly
Motion to return from executive session.
Second?
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
7:10.
I'll make a motion that we amend the personnel policy manual, the section 4.2.4 overtime rate of pay for full-time, non-exempt hourly employees, where it says overtime compensation will be paid at the rate of time and a half, and employees' regular rate of pay for all other hours worked over 40 hours in a 1 week, to be amended to include that holiday hours shall be considered hours worked.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
7:11.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming. Good to see everyone.
Last time it was snowing when you guys were here, wasn't it? Was it snow?